The biggest lie about food. In the landscape of nutrition, few topics have been as controversial and misunderstood as cholesterol and saturated fat. These food ingredients have been portrayed as villains in the story of heart health for many years, and dietary guidelines recommend severely limiting their intake in order to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. But new scientific findings have cast doubt on long-held assumptions and presented a more nuanced picture, forcing us to reconsider how we comprehend these fats and their effects on health. Despite being perceived as a harmful molecule, cholesterol is actually necessary for many physiological processes. It assists in the synthesis of hormones, builds cell membranes, and makes fat-soluble vitamins easier to absorb. However, misunderstandings regarding cholesterol's involvement in cardiovascular disease have been exacerbated by its link to diseases like atherosclerosis. Similar to this, saturated fats, which can be found in both plant-based sources like coconut oil and animal items like butter and red meat, have been demonized due to their alleged link to increased cholesterol and heart disease. Recent research, however, casts doubt on this categorical denial and suggests that different saturated fats have different metabolic consequences. Through an examination of their biochemical functions, effects on health outcomes, and the growing body of scientific knowledge that contradicts standard dietary advice, this investigation aims to disentangle the intricacies surrounding cholesterol and saturated fat. By exploring these nuances, we hope to offer a balanced viewpoint that enables people to make decisions regarding their eating patterns and general health. 1. Digging further into saturated fat and cholesterol, dissecting the myths and reality. Saturated fat and cholesterol have long been vilified as major contributors to cardiovascular disease, shaping dietary guidelines aimed at reducing their consumption. However, recent scientific insights have challenged these perceptions, revealing a more complex relationship between these nutrients and health outcomes. Cholesterol, once universally condemned for its role in artery-clogging plaques, is now understood to be essential for vital functions like cell membrane structure and hormone production. While high levels of LDL cholesterol can pose risks, the impact of dietary cholesterol on blood cholesterol levels varies among individuals due to genetic factors and overall diet quality. Similarly, not all saturated fats behave alike. While some may increase LDL cholesterol levels, others have neutral or potentially beneficial effects. Recent studies highlight the importance of considering overall dietary patterns and lifestyle factors in assessing cardiovascular risk associated with saturated fats. These findings underscore the need for nuanced dietary recommendations that account for individual variability and emphasize whole foods over processed alternatives. As our understanding evolves, a balanced approach to nutrition emerges, promoting health through informed dietary choices. 2. Recognizing cholesterol, crucial roles and fallacies. Although cholesterol is frequently maligned as a signpost of heart disease, it is actually an essential lipid molecule necessary for life. It contributes to the integrity and fluidity of cell membranes by acting as a structural element. Beyond its role in cell function, cholesterol is an essential precursor to steroid hormones such as cortisol, estrogen, and testosterone that are involved in many physiological processes. Furthermore, cholesterol is essential for the creation of bile acids, which aid in the breakdown and assimilation of dietary fats and fat-soluble vitamins. There are two main kinds of cholesterol in the bloodstream that circulate: HDL high-density lipoprotein and LDL low-density lipoprotein. When LDL cholesterol, also known as bad cholesterol, is present in excess, it can lead to the development of arterial plaques and raise the risk of atherosclerosis and heart disease. HDL cholesterol, on the other hand, is referred to as good cholesterol since it aids in returning extra cholesterol from tissues to the liver for metabolism and elimination. 3. Dispelling the myth about dietary cholesterol. In the past, dietary recommendations advise avoiding eating foods high in cholesterol, like shellfish and eggs, in order to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. This suggestion was based on the idea that blood cholesterol levels are directly raised by dietary cholesterol. However, recent studies have shown that individual differences exist in the effect of dietary cholesterol on blood cholesterol levels. The body's primary producer of cholesterol, the liver, strictly controls its synthesis in response to internal cues rather than just food consumption. The liver maintains a delicate equilibrium that is specific to each person's metabolic requirements by lowering endogenous cholesterol production in response to an increase in dietary cholesterol consumption. Research shows that although some individuals may see a slight rise in LDL cholesterol from food, this effect is frequently countered by changes in endogenous production, leaving most people with little net change in total cholesterol levels. 4. Saturated fats function and its complex health effects. Dietary recommendations for heart health have placed a strong emphasis on saturated fats, which are defined by their chemical structure without any double bonds between carbon atoms. Plant oils like coconut and palm oil, as well as animal fats like butter and lard, are sources of saturated fat. In the past, eating less saturated fat was recommended to lower LDL cholesterol levels and the risk of cardiovascular disease. However, the idea that saturated fats are entirely bad is called into question by recent meta-analyses and systematic reviews. Notably, the effects of various saturated fatty acids varied according to their individual metabolic routes and chain length. For example, lauric acid, the major component of coconut oil, has been demonstrated to raise HDL and LDL cholesterol levels. However, its total effect on cardiovascular risk is still up for discussion. Compared to other saturated fats, myristic acid, which is present in red meat and dairy products in lesser amounts, has been linked to a more noticeable rise in LDL cholesterol. Palmitic acid, which is found in both plant and animal sources, has conflicting effects on cholesterol levels and, if taken in excess, may lead to insulin resistance. 5. Food habits and heart health, setting the scene. Emerging research underscores the significant impact of lifestyle factors and overall dietary patterns on cardiovascular health outcomes, particularly concerning saturated fat consumption. While moderate intake of saturated fats has been historically linked to adverse cardiovascular effects, recent studies suggest that the context in which these fats are consumed plays a crucial role. Diets characterized by high quality and diversity featuring whole foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and beneficial fats like those found in olive oil and nuts may mitigate potential negative effects of moderate saturated fat intake. These foods provide essential nutrients and antioxidants that support cardiovascular health. Conversely, diets rich in processed foods, added sugars, and refined carbohydrates combined with high levels of saturated fat may exacerbate cardiovascular risk factors. These dietary choices often lack essential nutrients and contribute to inflammation and metabolic dysregulation, which can increase the likelihood of heart disease. Understanding the interplay between dietary components and overall dietary quality is crucial for promoting heart health. By prioritizing whole, nutrient-dense foods and minimizing processed alternatives, individuals can optimize their diet to support cardiovascular well-being. 6. Towards a balanced strategy. The oversimplified myths surrounding cholesterol and saturated fat that have influenced dietary recommendations for many years are being called into question by new research. A more sophisticated strategy stresses lifestyle choices, individual metabolic reactions, and total nutritional quality, rather than just lowering cholesterol and saturated fat intake. Important guidelines for advancing heart health consist of moderation and balance. Eating a range of foods high in nutrients while limiting intake of foods high in cholesterol and saturated fats. Whole foods emphasis. Giving whole foods precedence over processed substitutes in order to promote cardiovascular health in general. Lifestyle factors. Adding consistent exercise, keeping a healthy weight, and quitting smoking to your diet in addition to your dietary efforts. 7. Conclusion. Embracing a nuanced approach to dietary health. As we conclude our exploration into the roles of cholesterol and saturated fat in nutrition, it becomes clear that the traditional narrative surrounding these dietary components requires a reassessment. Cholesterol, once demonized as a primary culprit in cardiovascular disease, is now recognized as a multifaceted molecule essential for various bodily functions. Its relationship with heart health is nuanced, influenced by individual factors and dietary patterns beyond simple cholesterol intake. Similarly, saturated fats, long portrayed as uniformly detrimental, exhibit diverse effects based on their specific fatty acid composition and interaction with overall diet quality. While certain saturated fats may modestly raise LDL cholesterol levels, their impact on cardiovascular risk varies, emphasizing the importance of dietary context and individualized health considerations. Moving forward, a balanced approach to nutrition acknowledges the complexity of human physiology and dietary interactions. It prioritizes whole foods rich in essential nutrients while moderating intake of saturated fats and cholesterol-containing foods within individual tolerance levels. Coupled with lifestyle factors like regular physical activity and avoidance of smoking, this approach supports cardiovascular health and overall well-being. By embracing this nuanced perspective, individuals can navigate dietary choices with confidence, empowered to make informed decisions that align with their health goals. As research continues to evolve, so too should our understanding of nutrition, ensuring that dietary recommendations reflect the latest scientific insights for optimal health outcomes. Let us know in the comments what you think about this, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more captivating content on our YouTube channel.